5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're now tuning in to Way Gaming Podcast, hosted by OneWaySoldier. We answer your gaming-related questions and talk about gaming-related topics. Now available on major platforms like iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and others, helping you game with a better understanding.
Hey, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Way Gaming. I'm your host, OneWaySoldier, or you call me Carl. And here on Way Gaming, we talk about your gaming-related we answer your game-related questions and talk about your game-related topics. And on this episode of True Way Gaming, it's going to be a topic. Earlier this week, Sony has officially revealed PlayStation VR 2. I think it was like earlier last year or late last year, they confirmed that, oh yeah, it's a thing. But earlier this week, they actually shown the final product of what the headset looks like, and even gave a full list on the PlayStation blog of features that this new headset would be talking about. Well, features that it will be capable of. That we're going to be talking about. Please forgive me, guys. I don't know what's going on with me with the tongue twisters this morning, but let's keep it moving, I guess. So that's what I want to talk about today was the PlayStation VR 2. I'm very excited. And again, that's what I mentioned a few times. I'm trying to remember exactly which episodes of True Gaming that I explained that. But what I love about Sony's, I love both. I'm an Xbox fan, and obviously I'm a PlayStation fan. I'm also a fan of Nintendo. So, but what I like about Sony in particular, oh my goodness. I'm not even sure I should cut that out. But anyway, what I love about Sony is there's different ways to play. And I truly love that. Going, PlayStation 4, I love the fact that, we had a touchpad, even though it wasn't really utilized with a lot of developers. I think literally the game that used all the features was really Infamous Second Son. But I love the speaker on the controller, I love the touchpad and the motion sensor in it. And where Xbox One, they just kept the basic, literally, And for some people, that's all right. People, and the core gamer, and, that's, hey, if that's you, kudos, that's awesome. But I always love the fact that there was more ways to play, including PlayStation VR. And to me, I feel like Sony, they're very ambitious. And I understand too, like Microsoft, they had to really, especially the old leadership back in 2013, I know they had to take a lot of time to really fix that, fix their leadership, fix their vision. What they're promoting, and fix their whole gaming catalog, really. So I understand it takes some time for that, but with Sony, they have amazing IPs. Microsoft as well too. Sony has amazing IPs, but then also they have PlayStation VR. And what was really cool, what really drew me to that, it was because when I say that Sony's very ambitious, because really, I love how they're the first to bring VR to the living room space. On a console, I mean. So obviously, we have HTC 5, you had Oculus Rift, of course, but those require PC setups. What was cool about PlayStation VR is that it's the first VR headset that was compatible with a home console. And that's amazing. And so somebody, especially for the average consumer, they don't have to be like, all right, let's buy a good gaming rig, and a good GPU that could handle VR gaming. No, you just buy a PS4, whether it's a slim model or Pro. Pro obviously is recommended with the extra horsepower. And then you just buy the PlayStation VR, and then you follow the step-by-step instructions. And it was really simple. And again, it's the average consumer that doesn't have a whole lot of knowledge could, just, again, they want to experience VR, just pick up the PlayStation VR headset and just bring it home and then, follow instructions. And I think that's really amazing. And that was really appealing to me. Because I do have a PC, but I'm not sure if my PC, in terms of GPU-wise, could handle a VR headset, But anyway, I played a lot of PlayStation VR. And what I also loved about particularly the PlayStation VR was that, Sony's platform, you get to actually own a lot of your PlayStation VR games. So, if you were just, Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, where on PC, you're buying the games digitally, or you're buying it out through Steam, you're not really owning your games. You know what I mean? So, and so what was really appealing to me was that Sony's platform, there is a lot of PlayStation VR games that you get to have physical copies and actually own and keep in your library, and whenever you want, you can just pop it in the system and just play it, off the disc. And I love that. Very appealing to me. So, and not every game it's like available on, physical. For example, Super Hot, and also Arizona Sunshine. Here in the US, those games are only available digitally, but in European countries, and also I think in Japan as well, they have a physical copy of those games. Me, I own Arizona Sunshine physical. I had to import it. I brought it on eBay, and oh man, I love it. So I actually own a physical copy of the game, and it's cool because I think I don't even need a patch for it. I think it just works, so it's very appealing. And really, that's my first experience with VR, was the PlayStation VR. I never got to try the HTC Vive. I've seen people play the Oculus Rift. Very appealing, very cool stuff. Even though it never seemed we were there yet. Oculus Rift and stuff, it always seems like we were in an experimental stage with VR. And same thing with PlayStation VR, especially there was a lot of cables for it. But now, yeah, you got the Oculus Quest 2. I mean, obviously you have to be connected to Facebook for that. To me, that's what ruins the whole thing. Because to me, the Oculus Rift, the price point for it, and again, is like basically no wires. It's crazy, and the tracking is like built in. To me, it was very appealing. But once I found out that you had to be connected to Facebook, I'm like, all right, nope. To me, I like to pretend that doesn't even exist. And it sucks because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Medal of Honor, Above and Beyond is on there now, but I know Resident Evil 4 also VR is on there as well. But yeah, and I know that headset has issues on its own. But anyway, so fast forwarding, PlayStation VR 2, I'm happy that Sony is deciding to continue the PlayStation VR, but especially with these new and improved features for PlayStation VR 2. Very excited for it. And especially also because even though I love PlayStation VR, I loved it, very comfortable. To me, it was a very cool headset. I know there's a lot of features that came out with other companies' headsets that sort of make the PlayStation VR really outdated in terms of technology. For example, I forgot what headset, but VR headsets now, you get to adjust the lens of the VR headset itself. You could again, like I mentioned, with Oculus Quest 2, I think it's fully wireless, and stuff like that. So in other words, I have Sony's blog right here in front of me, and I just wanted to go down the list of features, and they actually reveal the picture of it. And to me, it's cool. The majority of the design, but I'm talking about how it wraps around your hand and stuff, is sort of the same. Doesn't bother me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get it. And to me, the PlayStation VR headset was very, very, very comfortable. I never had a complaint, I never complained, in terms of comfort and, wearing the headset on my head. It never felt heavy, really, for me. And it felt perfect. And it's funny because on this one, though, the front of the headset, it has built-in tracking, and that's one thing, and I'm going to read in a blog, but I was very excited because for the original PlayStation VR, you needed the PlayStation camera in order for it to work. And for it to work on the PlayStation 5, you need to request an adapter, which you need to go on Sony's website, and there's a form to request a free PlayStation VR adapter. And then you got to wait for 2 weeks, and they will ship it out to you. For me, I'm still waiting, and it's been 4 weeks. It's been a month. So I'm not sure if I should contact support this time, or I'm like, you know what, at March time, I'll contact them and see what happens if it's not already shipped out. But anyway, moving forward. But yeah, and what was it? I just had a thought. Yeah, and PlayStation VR again. I love the games on it. It's really, really cool. Also, the PlayStation VR's lens as well, they were rounded, which was really weird because to me, every time I buy something, right, I buy a handheld console, or I buy how should I say, anything pretty much with a screen on it. I love to buy a screen protector for it. And the same thing on my cell phone. So, I remember the screen protector I brought a screen, or I should say lens protector for the PlayStation VR. The PlayStation VR, like the lens are like rounded. So it was very complicated to get those on perfectly. And even then there's like a wrinkle, so to speak, in the lens protectors, whatever. And it's weird because when I put on the headset and, that could, it's really distracting when you're playing a VR game, and even sort of makes it a little blurry. But anyway, that's just a complaint. So I'm really curious, and let's go down the list here of the PlayStation. So Sony says in their blog post, oh, and one more thing before I read. Yeah, with the PlayStation VR 2 headset with the front of the visor, because that's the built-in tracking, it reminds me of like Lost Planet 2. It reminds me of the pirates or whatever. Like it reminds me of something like from Lost Planet, and I love it. It looks cool to me. It looks very cool and funny. So anyway, and I quote: "Building upon our innovation from PlayStation 5, PlayStation VR 2 adds a true next-gen experience with high-fidelity visuals, new sensory features, and enhanced tracking, along with a simplified single-cord setup." I'm going to pause right there, because I seen the pictures, and I do see that single-cord setup. Yeah, very nice, very cool. It's really cool. And I truly believe that Sony, I know we have the technology now to make this wireless, and I'm pretty sure, especially Sony, they had the opportunity to make the headset wireless, but I do believe they chose to go with a single cord route because of cost. Because I know if they were to make this headset wireless, I mean, based on what I've read and what we're going to go through today, I know this is going to be a very, very, very expensive headset. So if they were to added wireless capabilities to this in terms of the headset itself, man, it would have bumped up the headset by like $200 or something. Obviously I'm not in the business or whatever. That's just my opinion and my thoughts. Anyway, so moving on. Visual fidelity. For a high fidelity visual experience, PlayStation VR 2 offers 4K HDR, very nice, 110 degrees field of view, which is very nice, and four-vented rendering. With the OLED display, players can expect a display resolution of 2000 by 2040 per eye. Very interesting. And smooth frame rates of 90 to 120 frames per second. Oh boy, excuse me. Which is very, very cool. Especially, it's funny, the 2000 by 2040. I mean, it's close. It's definitely close, or it's not exactly 4K. I do believe, but I understand with fitting that resolution, so those pixels into small islands is, it's definitely gonna look. You're definitely gonna get a sharp, crisp picture like 4K. Amen. Because 4K is 32. Let me get this. What was it? 3280 by 2160, I think. And oh man, I can't even quote it. That's embarrassing. But anyway, for 2000 by 2040, that's, you're gonna get a crisp image like 4K, hands down. Because again, it's yeah. I'm not sure that's exactly 4K. It sounds like a little bit below it, but again, it's gonna be crisp and very, very good. Good. So I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for this, just by that alone as well, and also some smooth frame rates. I remember, I think the original PlayStation VR, if I'm not mistaken, has capabilities of going to 90 hertz per second as well, like 90 frames per second as well. But we didn't, because of the PlayStation 4 Pro, we didn't see games run at that capacity, to my knowledge. So it's really cool that it sounds like, here, with 90 to 120 hertz per second, it sounds like 90 frames per second is going to be a standard for VR games. And I hope so. That would be amazing. And I know it's a little weird to say too, but I know that VR games, or at least files and stuff, are less demanding than making a full-on game, I guess. So yeah, that's really exciting to me. Very awesome. And it's cool because it looks like this, on the PS5, it's more than capable to keep 90 frames, per second on a VR game, I'm saying. Because, with the PlayStation 4 Pro, again, like I remember I played, what game I played? I played Until Dawn, there you go, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, when, I was like a launch title for the VR. And I also played this other game, which to me was my favorite VR game, like, of all time. I played a few, and literally Farpoint, to me, has been super amazing. Oh my goodness. Like, if you haven't played it, if you haven't played VR, you have not played Farpoint, please go play it, and make sure you get an aim controller with it, because to me, that is an amazing experience on PlayStation VR. To me, that's what sold, definitely, that game, for me, is an amazing selling point for the PlayStation VR. So if you haven't tried it, highly recommend that. And in other words, I remember I played on the slim PlayStation 4, and I remember frames were dropping, and I got motion sickness real quick. And that rarely happens to me. That really happens to me. And I was playing Rush Blood, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, and man, playing on the slim PlayStation 4, it made me motion sickness. I remember also my buddy Sonic came over, and we were playing on the slim, and it made us both sick. But then when we were playing on the Pro, the parts that I got sick on and the slim were completely absent for me. Because PlayStation 4 Pro, it was able to keep those frames a solid lock, or a close lock to those frames. Especially, it's very important when you play VR. Make sure that it's very important that those frame rates do not fluctuate, because it could get the person sick. So, but I like how, boom. In other words, for PlayStation VR 2, it looks like 90 is going to be the standard. And especially at 4K and 110 degrees of field of view, which is awesome. So it's not going to feel like, how should I say? And again, I love PlayStation VR, the first one, but it looks like you're looking through binoculars in a sense, the field of view. Now with 110 field of view degrees, it's going to feel like we're actually, you're actually witnessing with your eyes, sort of, if that makes sense. Anyway, keep it moving. So headset-based controller tracking. That's awesome. So with inside-out tracking, that's very interesting, that term. Inside-out tracking, PlayStation VR 2 tracks you and your controller through integrated cameras embedded in the VR headset, which is awesome. Because to me, what also held back, to be honest, the PlayStation VR 1 was, everything was done with the tracking with the camera. I mean, at that time, obviously, like, HTC Vive, they use their own, they have this, I do believe they have this, like, these tracking cubes, whatever, and they're on, like, these poles, so you have to, like, set them up in your living room. So, set up a play area in your living room, right? And a PlayStation VR, it was good at that time. You used a camera, but you sort of had to be, a certain distance away. You had to make sure, certain games that was very fast moving, you had to make sure that you don't go out of the view of the camera that's set up on top of your TV or below. And you also had to do this calibration over and over again. If you move the camera or whatever, slightly, and also you had to play in a well-lit room, I do believe. So, in other words, to hear this, in other words, the tracking is integrated into the headset, I'm very, very, very pleased. And very excited as well. Cameras embedded in the VR headset. Your movements and the direction you look at are reflected in-game without the need for an external camera. Yes, and that's what I'm talking about. So you don't have to worry about going out of view with the camera, out of bounds, I should say. Even though I'm pretty sure you had to set up virtually a play area. But again, like, I remember my issue when I was playing, how should I say? It was before Blood and Truth came out. It was the London Heist. And my setup at the time, I set it up or whatever, and I was sitting down and playing, and I don't know if I turned my head too much to the left or tilt, it would go out the camera's view, or even on stand up, what was it? It was really weird. It was just really weird, and I had to, try to fix it over and over again to try to make sure I'm fully tracked and the camera can see me, whatever. So in other words, without the need of external camera, I'm very happy. So it looks like they came out with the HD camera though for the PlayStation 5, which is $60. It looks like they the purpose of that now was just, or rather now I think it's confirmed, it's just if you want to stream on the PlayStation 5 and you want a camera to, for people to see you. It also has some nice features too for streaming. I think it even has like a green screen functionality and stuff. Even has some customization ways where you could just show your face and like blur the background. Very, very cool. So in other words, it gets your feet wet in terms of the streaming space. If you don't have a setup where OBS and stuff, you want to start streaming strictly on the PS5 or just strictly stream on the PS5. The HD camera is there, and again, only $60, and it's very, very good quality as well. But I thought that they came out with that accessory primarily for the PlayStation VR 2. So it looks like it's confirmed that no, the sole purpose of that is if you just want to stream on your PS5 and stuff. So that's cool. That's cool. That is not a necessity for a PlayStation VR 2. Now, moving on. New accessory features. PlayStation VR 2 Sense technology combines eye tracking, headset feedback. Wow, very cool. 3D audio, and an innovative PlayStation VR 2 Sense controller to create an incredible deep feeling of immersion. Wow. Pause right there. Well, the eye tracking, I'm happy that they added that, because I think eye tracking as well could negate the feeling of motion sickness. I think that would definitely help, where if you're playing a game and even if frames are not going to drop on this. This is like a powerhouse. But eye tracking would definitely help with that. I think it would help smooth things out so you feel less sick. And I'm glad that they added that, the eye tracking. And headset feedback, I'm really curious. So let's say if I'm playing a boxing game, somebody punches me in the face. Would the headset feedback react to that? Because that's pretty cool. Hopefully it doesn't hurt me too much. But I really am excited for that too. I'm very, very excited for that. Or I get shot, with the headset, vibrate. Very curious. Can't wait for this to come out. But moving on. Headset feedback is a new... Okay, answer my question. Headset feedback is a new sensory feature that amplifies the sensations of in-game actions from the player. It's created by a single built-in motor with vibrations. Well, that answers my question. If I get punched in the face, it's going to vibrate. That's awesome. Where you shot. That added intelligent... Sorry for coughing the mic, guys. I didn't mean to do that. That added intelligent tactile element, bringing players closer to the gameplay experience. For example, gamers can feel a character's elevated pulse during tense moments, the rush of objects passing close to the character's head, or a thrust of a vehicle as the character speeds forward. Wow. That is awesome. Additionally, PS5 Tempest 3D audio tech makes sounds in the player's surroundings come alive, adding to this new level of immersion. Holy smokes. That is crazy. That is awesome. I'm excited for this. I really am excited for this. Again, wow. You're driving a vehicle, you feel like you're actually in the vehicle and moving forward. You feel, I'm looking back on this right now, the rush of objects passing through. Again, it's funny that they didn't mention getting punched in the face. Oh, I'd love to see them say that. Yeah, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, sorry. I'm going to move on. I was just like, man, I was looking at the details. I'm like, oh, man. Anyway, and now eye tracking. With eye tracking, PSVR 2 detects the motion of your eyes. So a simple look in a specific direction can create an additional input for the game character. This allows players to interact more intuitively in new and lifelike ways, allowing for a heightened emotional response and enhanced expression that provides a new level of realism in gaming. Wow, sounds like people are not going to want to leave their homes. Oh, man, that's funny. I'm going to move forward. All of these advancements in PlayStation VR 2 combined with the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, I love it. Oh, man, I love it. It's going to be awesome. From the PlayStation VR 2 Sense controller, enable players to feel and interact with games in a much more visceral way. PlayStation VR 2 will also have a simple setup process with a single cable connected directly to PlayStation 5, you can immediately jump into the VR experience. So a couple of things about that. One, I'm not sure if I've said it earlier in this episode, but I wish that I see the simple cord in the pictures they have online, and it looks like that simple cord is not detachable, and to me that bothers me. I mean, obviously, I know how to take care of my stuff. I'm not gonna pull on the cord. I'm not gonna step on it and pull it or anything like that. But what I would have loved to see, even though again this is not wireless, but I wish that cord, it looks like, again, according to the pictures, that cord looks like it's built into the headset. And to me, that's a little bit of an issue, because let's say, God forbid, the wire frails, the wire gets banged up, right, a certain way, or let's just say, for whatever reason, the wire gets fried, right? You can't replace it. You have to replace the whole headset itself. And to me, especially, I know this headset, just by the sounds of the features I just read, it's going to be an expensive headset, So, praise God. I was really hoping that they would add, a detachable wire. So it's a, USB Type-C wire, where if it breaks, you order one from PlayStation, .com, whatever, and just buy one, right? So I'm a little disappointed by that, to be honest. And I'm not, people say, "Oh, you're nitpicking," but I don't know. I think it's justifiable, But yeah, and then the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. I love haptic feedback. I love the adaptive triggers. I really do. I really, really love it. Now, the only thing is, though, with the adaptive triggers, not mine, but there's been reports of a lot of people of the haptic adaptive triggers. The stuff has been breaking. Just by normal use, it has been breaking. I don't know how hard they're pulling the triggers and stuff, but there's been a lot of reports of that, and that's something that Sony does need to fix moving forward. And to my knowledge, I don't think they came up with a fix by that, but I think there's even like lawsuits about that. But so my hope is that with this PlayStation VR 2 Sense controllers, I hope that they found a way to fix the adaptive triggers. I hope the way that, because again, if it's the same design in terms of what's in the DualSense, at least the ones that were breaking, then I see the same thing happening here, if not worse. And I really hope that they have came a way to really, make sure that it works. But other than that, with those two minuses, what I'm reading, I love what I'm reading. It's awesome. It sounds like it's going to be have a blessed time on this. It sounds like it's really going to be fun. And today we also are pleased to reveal one of the biggest exclusive franchises of PlayStation will be coming to PlayStation VR 2, Horizon Call of the Mountain, from Guerrilla and Fire Sprite Games. Oh my goodness, can't talk. Fire Sprite. This original game is built specifically for PlayStation VR 2. It will open the doors for players to go deeper into World Horizon. That's awesome. Especially with the display of the headset, it's going to be OLED. So you're going to get those nice deep blacks and vibrant colors. It's awesome. I want to know if they have a measure to negate screen burn, But either way, looks awesome. I'm reading a little chart that they have now. 4 cameras for the head. So the cameras, 4 cameras for headset and controller tracking. IR camera for eye tracking per eye. Interesting. And, communication with PS5, USB Type-C, which is awesome. But I wish, again, it was detachable, because obviously the norm today is USB Type-C. So if they were to make that cable detachable, you could easily replace the cable. I would like to think so. I would love that. Audio built-in microphone, output stereo headphone jack. But it also has 3D audio, which is really immersing. That's awesome. Wow. I love what I'm reading so far. I love what I read, we're done with the blog post. It is a little strange too that, in my opinion, that Sony chose to reveal it on a blog post, because, Microsoft, they revealed it on the Game Awards show. And then they made a blog post. Oh yeah, the Xbox Series X, and then they made a blog post about it. So I guess it's normal now, but And, that's really big. But I guess with Sony, it was a little weird because, like, for the past 2 years or so, or since launch, they revealed a bit of information at a time. So I remember, like, I think it was like 2021 or so, or maybe 2020. No, it was 2021, I think. Like, oh, this is the PlayStation VR 2 motion controller. They showed that first, And then now this year, they revealed the headset itself with the controllers, And, even though when the launch of PlayStation VR, like, oh, yeah, we are planning a next generation VR. So, yeah, I just find it funny that something that they were building up to, and the final reveal they put in a blog post. So to me, it's a little funny, but whatever, it is what it is. Because to me, I would have liked to see, for example, like them to make like a PlayStation, oh my goodness, PlayStation Showcase, for example, and they do some announcements or whatever coming up this year, and then oh yeah, and we now are going to dedicate the next 10 minutes, for the PlayStation VR 2, and show the controller, right? Have a cool little feature with that white background, whatever, of the headset, and the controllers, and like they did with the PS5. How they revealed how the system actually looks, where they show that blue stuff, those blue little motion balls or something. I don't know, whatever that was, and then it showed the system, and then it showed the accessories. They could have done something like that or whatever to show, but I don't know. I'm not trying to complain. I'm not complaining here. I just found it a little weird that one day or earlier this week it was just a blog post. Hey, all right, well now we're happy to present the PlayStation VR 2, and then they just made a blog post about it. So I thought, because also too they only confirmed one game for it, which is Horizon, which is awesome. I think it's going to be amazing. But what else can we expect on it? Because I know, like, PlayStation VR, when that first came out, there was a few first parties games on it. Like, for example, Farpoint, Bravo Team. There was a few others. But those are two I just named for the sake of an example. And then really a third party took over supporting the life of the PlayStation VR, right? But it's a little weird that, yeah, the PlayStation VR 2 is coming. I think it's set for later this year. To me, they should just make it next year, like early next year. They should make it like February or something, because, yeah, it's especially because we're still in a shortage right now in terms of like chips and silicones, computer parts, basically. They should really, oh, guys, what I'm trying to say, they should really wait on that. Not make the same mistake what they did with the PlayStation 5. Even though they did release the same amount of systems at launch for PS4, but we had a bad situation, or we currently have a bad situation with scalpers. But yeah, I think they should wait until, because it has been reported that hopefully by the end of this year, 2022, and or even early 2023, we're going to start to see demand with the silicone chips and all that stuff. The parts that are needed for these GPUs and motherboards, etc. So I think Sony should target early next year, like I'm talking about late January or maybe February, maybe even March if they need, but they shouldn't just rush this into market just yet. That's just my opinion. And also, I noticed reading through this blog post, what they haven't gave a price point. Now I know with all those features, it's going to be expensive. It looks like with Sony, they always struggle with price points. And I get it. It's definitely like, okay, how much loss can we take on this? How much, we don't want to make this too expensive because it will turn away heads real quick, or should we make this affordable? Obviously with the PlayStation 5, it was a long while. Because I think Microsoft announced, if I'm not mistaken, I think Microsoft announced the price for the Series X and S first. And then I think not too long after, Sony revealed theirs. So I'm pretty sure it's the same scenario with the PlayStation VR 2. They didn't give a price point, but man, with all those features, an OLED screen, that alone is expensive. Targeting 4K. That also one thing that it didn't show in the blog post, I believe. It also has air vent, so it prevents PlayStation VR, I think a big problem was when you put it on and then, you're breathing in the headset. It causes the headset to fog up, the lens. To negate that, the PlayStation VR 2 has an air vent in it. So it will, exhaust air, whatever, out and stuff, which is pretty cool. But just with that alone, like I just mentioned, the DualSense VR2 controllers, the motors, and the vibrating feedback on the headset itself, and the tracking. Oh man, I think, in my opinion, I'm gonna take a guess here. I think, and it's not wireless, so I know hands down minimum. I doubt it's gonna be this much. I highly, highly doubt. I doubt it's gonna be $400. Of course, I could be wrong. The minimum we will see is $450. The minimum, but even then, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. I think hands down, this is going to be $500. I think this headset is going to be $500. Because this sounds like this looks like and sounds like a premium headset. And also, what we didn't read in the blog post, I forgot somewhere else, but they made another post that you can also, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, you could you adjust the lens itself. So yeah, it's really, I think it's going to be $500. So I think they're still working on those details. Should we sell it, whatever? But I think we're going to see it for $500. It's crazy if they sell it for less. And so I think it's going to be the same price as the console. When we had the first VR headset, when that came out, they sold it for, I think $350. But that came with the VR headset, and you had to buy the camera separate. Oh no, the $350, that was bundled with the camera. That was bundled with the camera stuff, and I think also with the what's it called? The PlayStation Move controllers as well, which is cool. And yeah, and again, I'm really excited about that. Also, too, what I like about the controllers is that is going to have thumbsticks as well. So, and it gets that problem where, you have to teleport everywhere in games. That's another thing that to me held the PlayStation VR a little bit. Excuse me. It made me want to play every VR game with the aim controller if I was playing a shooter, because obviously those two analog sticks really, really help. So it's cool that on the PlayStation VR 2, you also have the thumbsticks as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be $500. I love what I see. It looks really nice. There was some, one thing I'm curious about, again, that wire, I really wished it was detachable. And yeah, and it's a simple cord setup. So it's cool. They didn't add like, you're a sideboard hooked up to a generator, so to speak. You only have one cable coming out the headset, and which I can understand why they went with that route, to not make it wireless. I completely understand that. So yeah, can't wait to see more. I can't wait to later this year they have to show stuff off. To me, it's a little weird that they're gonna launch the thing and it's only gonna be Horizon, right? It's gonna be only Horizon. I'll call the Wild or something. I doubt that. I'm sure there's going to be more games at launch, but they haven't revealed yet. Maybe teams need more time to make a demo, or maybe later this year around September or not September, June or July. Maybe Sony, they're going to do a PlayStation State of Play, and dedicate a State of Play of just VR2 games, and that'll be cool as well. So for now, they say, hey, we have this game coming, and stay tuned for more. So I could definitely see that happening as well. But either way, what is your thoughts? Do you like what we went through today, what we read? Does this PlayStation VR 2 sound appealing to you? Or are you like, yeah? I know there's this big push for like Metaverse, and yeah, to me, I'm not into it. To me, it sounds stupid, but or it sounds like a chore rather. Me, I'd rather stick to, if you could call it that now. Or I feel like it's sad because I feel like we're at that state where, I guess his name is appropriate, but old-fashioned VR games at this point. Like I like Farpoint and Super Hot. I prefer those kind of experiences than the Metaverse. So, but anyway, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Are you excited for PlayStation VR 2? Or are you like, it's another gimmick? Or, I would love to hear some of your thoughts in the comments, whether you're watching this on YouTube or whatever platform you're watching. And with that, Again, True Way Gaming, guys, we answer your gaming related questions and talk about your gaming related topics. If you have a question or topic you want me to discuss here on the show, you can send your email at twgpquestions@gmail.com. Make sure you write your name, you write question and our topic in the subject line, and also make sure you leave your name so I can properly address you here on the show. Wherever platform you're watching, whether you're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts, we're on Google, Apple, whatever, we're on all major platforms. So wherever you're tuning in, please make sure you subscribe and tell your friends and family, if they want to tune into a interactive experience podcast, and they have some questions, or they want to chat with me, they tell them about Way Gaming, and they could follow and submit their questions. Also, if you don't want to send a question or topic through email, you could also just contact me through Twitter. On Twitter, at Way Gaming, you could, send me a message or just tweet at me of a topic or a question you have, and we could discuss here on the show. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, Way Gaming Podcast as well. Make sure you subscribe and follow. Tell your friends and family about it. And I'm not trying to... and also I'm on Instagram as well. So I didn't post anything yet on that. Please forgive me. And we're definitely... I think it's at Way Gaming Podcast as well. The Instagram, Way Gaming Podcast. You could follow me there as well. All right, guys. And also... as the recording of this video, this podcast, I know our country, we're at a tricky time, and I know it's, there's a lot of fear happening. There's a lot of stress and people feel overwhelmed. And I guess what I wanted to say, the encouragement that if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed with what's happening in the world, just want to let you know that there is a God, and just want to let you know that Jesus Christ loves you so much. And I just want to encourage you guys to make sure you have a strong relationship with Jesus Christ, because it's not about religion, it's relationship. And just make sure you have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And if you don't know him, if you want to, don't overcomplicate it. Just ask the Lord Jesus, Lord, I want to know you. And I want to know if you're real. If that's your heart, like you're like, man, I don't know if God is real, I don't know if he exists. Ask him to show you that he's real. And I promise you, he will answer and he will show you his way. Amen. So, and just hold on to him. And once you trust me, when you're in the Lord, God got you covered. No matter what happens in the world, God will cover you. When you're in him. All right. So with that, I leave you farewell. I love you guys. God bless you. I love you. Jesus loves you. My name is OneWaySoldier, and this is the end of my transmission. Pew.